This is KENPO Kenya once again. Title: KARIANGOFO tells KADZO the story about the pickaxe, the spade, or DOLABRA. In the army, the African Courier Corps unit was very important. It was the unit that carried the weapons, the armaments, and all arsenals of war. Some few donkeys could be used to carry the baggage, but it was mostly the African Courier Corps division that did the carrying. The fear was that donkeys would make noise, you would not control donkeys where the enemies were. So the Africans who had joined the army were in the Courier Corps division. They would carry the luggages, they would carry the guns, they would carry the food, they would carry. And they did not only carry those, because in warfare, sometimes the war would escalate and they were forced to join in the war. So they learned how to handle a rifle, how to handle a bayonet. They were taught bayonet, so they would be taught bayonet. You know, it's the bayonet. And they were taught to cock and fire and a bit of war maneuvers. But mostly they were in the courier division. They used to be dressed in a Turkish cape, sort of, a khaki shirt and short trousers, and they would tie bandage strips around their shins. They did not have shoes. Our feet were hardened that time. So they were so hardened that sometimes even we could pass in thorny places. You remember, I don't know if I ever told the story of Shaka Zulu, where they had exercised and they even did not use sandals. Their feet could withstand even thorns. We were like that. And so the African Courier Corps formed a uniformed armored group in those days. And why am I talking about the Courier Corps? In the other video I told you, the past videos I told you about a man who used to talk the word of God in the town where I was born, Nakuru town, the whirlwind town. And he would tell people about Jesus. He had been somebody who had been training in the seminary, and he was ejected because of his radical views. And he would tell people about Jesus. And his finishing statement was, God is not your grandmother. And then he would take the Bible and take whatever he had and take off running like a lunatic. So he had nicknamed himself Carry and Go. But in the African dialects, when we put the two words together, it sounds carry and go, Kariango. So he used to call himself Kariango. And also the same thing happened when the African unit, Black African unit, joined the East African colonial units. The black soldiers, when they went home, people could not pronounce the word Courier Corps. It was a difficult word to pronounce. So they pronounced this as KARIANGOFO. A courier animal is an animal of package. There are courier divisions in every army. By that time, the Courier Corps in the African army were the donkeys and the soldiers themselves. So proudly, as a courier of the message, a donkey carrying the message, I'm going to refer to myself for this session as KARIANGOFO. I will carry the message, deliver, and go like KARIANGO would go. But I am a warrior. A warrior in terms of ideas. So, I will not only call myself KARIANGO, I will call myself a courier cop, a KARIANGOFO. Why am I talking about this KARIANGOFO thing? The DOLABRA, or the pickaxe, was a very important equipment, a versatile equipment, versatile tool for the Roman soldiers. They would dig trenches. They would use it to dig places where they build their camp. They would pave roads. They used to put paved roads, stone roads, in their engineering. And when caught off guard, when they were still constructing, it was a powerful weapon to use. Why am I talking about the DOLABRA, the pickaxe? A Roman soldier was a warrior. A Roman soldier was an engineer. A Roman soldier was a thinker. We have our armies, and we've been having occasions when the American Marine Forces come to the East African coast. The countries that neighbor the coast have a coastline, engage their soldiers or their warriors in war games with the Americans. They imagine other forces staying as enemies and others invading. A war practice, in short. Exercise. Just like when you're a runner, when you're a boxer, when you're all that, when you meet with other teams, you have friendly matches. So they have friendly matches. They exercise. When the British forces come, like in Kenya, we have a camp of the British Army where they train. When they are there, they also engage with our soldiers, and they exercise. They play war games. But there is a country that I'm proud of. It's a country you compete with in the marathons. In the marathons, you will always hear, if it's not a Kenyan, it is an Ethiopian. If it's not a Kenyan, it is an Ethiopian. Even in the long distance races, most of the long distance races, you are either seeing a Kenyan or an Ethiopian. Ethiopia has taken these war games to a height that I admire. Ethiopian government, you know war games. I salute you. Many people rarely take their engineering battalions to war games. The Ethiopians took their engineering battalion to a proper war game. They built the largest dam in Africa. It's Gerar, where the president went last year to see his inauguration. Gerar. A war game of love. Largest in Africa. And they said Ethiopian government did not spend even a shilling from outside, borrowed. They used their own money. And because these people have got skills, they have got sophisticated equipment. And in Africa, East Africa, how are we seeing ourselves going to war? We just have this armies in case something happens, but have you imagined any country going to war? I don't see any country going to war. When other people are exercising, because the military also has to exercise. Just like we said the other time, the white blood cells have to exercise. If they don't fight germs in the body, they will attack the body. So the army also has to exercise. But the engineering battalions are rarely involved in the exercises. Ethiopia took this to a greater height. Largest dam in Africa. No money borrowed. No shilling borrowed. Their army. They provided. The army gave them in the war games. I have been looking at African countries, looking at other countries in great pains. We want to construct an airport. Bring a committee. We shall have to borrow billions from this country. Bring engineers from that country to construct a mere airport. The soldiers have the skills. There is the equipment. We are not going to war. They need to do war exercises. How do they play their war games? Give them the airport. Let them give you something. Provide the material where they can proudly say, yes, in those war games, that was a product. We have roads. That's where a lot of corruption and everything goes on. People connected, companies connected, countries, that's where we borrow lots of money. We have this engineering department. They are there. Sometimes when they can also flex. We have the best, the most sophisticated equipments in East and Central Africa. Say what equipments our armies lack. Wouldn't it be a work of love to give you those bridges, to give you those airports, to give you those dams? These boreholes that you're always talking about, we have to get grants and get loans and get what and experts. These are experts. In most countries, there's no engineer as much trained as an engineer in the army, because they are the ones who safeguard the security of the countries. Ethiopia set an example. We can save a lot of money and have things to be proud of. I told you in the previous videos, there was a vice chancellor in the university where I was, a lady, by the lady Mugambi. When she took over, she started programs for people who had not gotten time to go to universities. She was able to raise the money. She built structures that shock people that is work done with funds from Kenya. Engineering, the people who are doing architecture in the university are the ones who take to places. They come design and put up those structures with the money produced from the very, very university. She has done it. Ethiopia has done it. East Africa, we have engineering departments in our armies. When people are doing war games, why don't we copy the example of Ethiopia? Construct things that will be important to the countries. When we talk of dikes in places that flood, they have the best equipment, they have the know-how. They can help us do that in the war games. A production of love, a labor of love. When they pass by, they say, during our war game exercises, this is the product. done by Kenyans. Or if it's Uganda, done by Ugandans. If there are people from Burundi, done by, like that. Cut down the cost. They can do it. Let them hone their skills. Let them put into practice what they have. Because some even wonder now, why did we learn all these things? Because in these countries, who is preparing to go to, we are brothers and sisters. We are doing our own trade. Trade with one another. We want to raise our economies. And then, this is the engineering department for war. Can we let them make war in progress? Put up bridges, put up airports, put up all these big things that you imagine. They have the know-how. They have the equipment. They are the best trained. Kenya, my country. It is always in the marathon. A Kenyan or an Ethiopian. A Kenyan or an Ethiopian. The Ethiopians have overtaken us. Can we copy from them? Put them on the race. See if we shall compete like we do in the marathons. We have the army. We have the skills. We have the equipment. We are not going to war with anybody. Let us do war games the way they do. Uganda, you can. Rwanda, you can. Burundi. Congo, this is possible. Tanzania, you have a wonderful land. It is possible. We can cut down costs. Yes, and we can have something that the army will be proud of. Cut down the cost, provide the material, let them hone their skills. Let them also do the war games. Gerar is a living example. Ethiopia, we salute you. East and Central African countries, your sister, Ethiopia, has done it. The country, that is when we say she, because countries are referred to as she. Here are other countries. That is an example to emulate. Save those costs, those loans that we always talk about. Have something beautiful constructed by your own people in the war games. And the countries will be proud. We shall spend less. And also, we shall be happy. Instead of saying this airport was constructed by some construction country from some place we don't know. This one was done by ours. It was a war game product. Yes, as we have war games in the other places. Let's remember that also our engineering corps in the army, it can also do war games and shock you with the war games. That is my suggestion. That's my take for now.